couple of weeks we've had so much going on between the quilt show in Branson and the grand opening of the Tulsa store, and we just finished up the Missy Billingsley event. It's just been a whirlwind of activity.
Oh, yes.
But we're so glad to be back with you, and we are in April.
Yes.
And April is
National Serger Month.
And I know, Ashley, you love to quilt.
I do.
Have you ever quilted on a serger?
Well, I didn't until we started this project.
Okay. So come over here, let me show you some ideas we have.
Okay.
Right over this way, of course, we've got all of our lovely Venetex fabrics.
Uh-huh.
And one of my favorite things to do is, let's make it as easy as it can possibly be. And one of the easiest ways to do that is by using the strips.
Nice.
All those
Ooh,
beautiful
those are fun.
strips. How many strips are in there?
I think there's 40.
42-inch strips, and there's 40 of them that are 2.5 by 42. You can make a pretty good size quilt out of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our inspiration. Let's use some strips. Or, of course, you could always use your AccuQuilt.
You could cut your own.
Cut your own 2.5-inch strips and make your own strips of whatever fun you might have going on, rather than, I don't know.
Buying more. I know. Some of you have quite an extensive stash.
It's true. And there's certain things that it's like, and strip quilts look great because all sorts of colors go together and make something wonderful.
Yes.
But we sell the strips and we sell the die cutters to make your own strips.
Absolutely.
So let's head over to the Triumph.
Okay.
I happen to know we have an amazing deal going on the Triumph right now.
Okay.
Because it is
National Serger Month.
And so we have a bundle right now that is the machine and all sorts of goodies for an amazing price. If you've ever thought to yourself, I think I want to get a serger,
Now's the time.
now is the time. One, because it's National Serger Month and we have such a great deal. And two, because why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's head over to the Triumph and see what we're going to do.
Perfect.
So for this step, Ashley, we were doing the 2-thread flat lock wide.
Yeah.
So you can see on here that you need your overlock needle 1. The length is set from 2 to 4. The width is 7.5. Your stitch selector's on A. We're on overlock. And then you have your upper looper selector in the up position.
Yep.
The blade is locked.
Yep.
We have the knife cover on. And the subsidiary looper closed. So those might be some new things that people may not be as familiar with.
Yeah.
And then your thread positions are where?
So you've got it on your lower looper over here and then on your overlock needle 1, but they go through a little bit different paths than they might normally
go. So they are where they say they should go.
Yes.
It just threads differently.
Correct.
All right, can you show us how to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So lower looper is going to thread just like normal from your thread to your thread mast, into your little tension, down, and through your lower looper.
Oh, okay. So that's not different.
No.
Okay.
The needle is where it's going to get a little different. So we're working with a 12-weight thread here. I've got the spaghetti in here.
Okay.
Wonderful. So you're going to come down through your upper looper guide
Instead of the needle guide.
instead of the needle guide over here. So you come down through the upper looper, but instead of going all the way down through the looper, we just come across from there.
Okay.
And then thread your needle like normally.
Does the air threading work with the needle?
You know, I didn't even try it because I didn't know if it would work with the heavier thread.
You know, I wonder.
We could try it.
Let's try it.
Okay.
So let's get in close here.
Pull this out of here.
Of course, you have to set up your machine
into
into the
threading.
threading mode to be able to use the needle threader.
Push that down. Trim my little tail here so we don't have any fuzzies.
Fuzzies don't ever go through the eye of a needle.
Nope. Nope, not quite.
Want to try one more time? Let's see.
Maybe if we used our little guide, it might like it.
Let's try that. So what is this little guide you speak of?
It kind of sits in front of your needle threader so that you can see. It gives you a groove to slide that thread into.
Okay, so how does
instead of
that go
just
on?
holding it. So you got to go behind your thread up here so you don't rip it out whenever you take it off. And then click it right on, and so now it's got those little guides right there.
Okay.
And then I just have a little groove to set it in.
Okay, so being that it's a heavier thread, are we using a different needle?
I did switch to a top stitch needle because it has a larger eye.
Okay, but it's still a little bit heavy of a thread to be able to go through
The air threader.
the air threader.
Yep.
So just the good old fashioned way. And
Yep.
you do still have that other needle threader tool.
We do. I can show how that works.
Okay. And I use this tool forever and ever, and it's a wonderful little tool.
Get my little bag of goodies out here.
Okay. And what is this one called?
Oh gosh. I don't know, the little needle threader tool.
I like it.
It has a name in a language I don't read, and needle threading.
I think that sounds fabulous. Can you show me up close here?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a little plunger. Can you push down on that top part? Okay, so there's a tiny little wire. Turn it so it's, no, move your finger. And kind of rotate it.
Yeah.
And you can see it's skinny one way and
Yep.
wide the other way. So obviously you have to have the skinny way go through the eye of the
Yeah.
needle. Otherwise it will just bend that. So how do you know which way is the skinny way?
They have an arrow.
Okay.
So you want the arrow up whenever you thread your needle.
Because if you turn it sideways, then it's trying to cram something flat through a skinny hole.
Yes.
Got it. All right. And so how does this work?
So you arrow up, set your thread horizontally through that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of give it a little twirl so it stays on there. Set your threader on the front of your needle and just very gently push and ride down that needle. And it will catch the eye, until I make it look hard. It'll catch the eye of the needle and that little wire is going to push your thread through there.
But you don't need to push very hard, do you?
No, you just barely push. If you push too hard, you're going to bend your little threader. There we go. And so it's got a little loop through
I see
there.
that. And
But
you
then it
just-
has a little hook on this side.
Oh, nice.
So if your loop's big enough, you can hook your thread and pull it through. And if not, you can just grab it with your fingers.
That works too. Okay, so there, and this serger comes with that tool also.
It does,
And
yeah.
and we do sell that tool also. So it's a great tool. You don't have to just use it for a serger. You can use that for any kind of needle
Oh, yeah.
threading. So if you're interested in having a needle threader tool that is kind of a foolproof one, that's a great one to have.
There we go.
Okay, so not too hard to thread that.
No, it's just
And
that
then-
subsidiary looper. Make sure that you've got that flipped up.
And then do we have all the other little things? Oh, here, show us that.
Yeah.
Subsidiary looper.
Get this out of the way here. So normally it sits over here like this.
Yep.
You just got to pull out on him a little bit so that he slides up and then flip him around. There
And
he
what
is.
does that do?
It kind of closes that top looper
Okay,
because we're not using it.
that's true. And will it sew if you don't close that?
I haven't tried. It doesn't?
No.
Oh, it might not.
Okay.
All right, so when we're ready to sew, of course, got to close all your doors. Don't forget, we've got safety devices here. Switch it from threading back to serging.
Okay.
Close your little door.
So we're just sewing a half square triangle together.
Yeah, I've got a couple of scraps from the strips that we sewed together.
Excellent.
So, line my little guys up. Here we go. Hey, get in there. There we go. I like that presser foot lever's on the right side, but let me tell you, it took me a little bit to get used to it. I keep reaching back here.
Yeah. You know, this is a really quiet serger.
It is. And we've got
And
a
it's-
speed control on
And
here.
it's in this wonderful koala serger center.
Oh, yes. I
So
do
it just
quite like the
snugs up around the serger and it holds it nice and cozy, and you get perfect stitching with it. So now that you stitched that, let's see what it looks like before you
Yeah.
open it.
So before we open it, it just looks like your normal, it looks like a really loose stitch
And that's because,
because we need those tensions loose enough that whenever we pull this,
would you look at
it pulls
that?
those threads through.
How cool. And so that's how we've sewn all of these strips together.
Yep.
And so when we sewed all the strips together, was there any rhyme or reason to it, or were you just taking strips and sewing them?
I made somebody else make piles of 5 strips because if I made piles, I didn't like how they looked.
You were overthinking it?
Yes.
So let's go over here and look at this fabric.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this right here is that package of fabric.
And it looks very blue and pink from the
Yeah,
top.
turn it over. And on the back, it was like, oh.
Okay.
And so turn it back, there we go. But look at the array of colors that you get from that strip package by Benartex.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell what's in there.
It is, although I do think it's easier to see what kind you have in this type of package rather than in the roll.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the roll, you kind of can only see the one on the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it is nice.
Yep.
But look at all those pretty colors. And so this was all strips sewn together using that.
Strip package. Yep.
And which stitch what we're using?
The ladder stitch.
Is it the ladder stitch or?
The flat lock wide.
It's the flat lock wide. There
Yeah.
is a ladder stitch that you can also use, but we have found that one works better on a lighter weight thread.
Yes,
So
yes.
if you're using a little bit heavier weight decorative threads, but look how pretty it is. And these are just some things that we have another plan for that we're going to sew another piece together and make a little wall hanging out of it.
Yes.
Yes. So this is like an unfinished project over here. But let's go look at the finished project.
Okay. Okay, we just showed you how we did this ladder stitching, this flat lock, and now we're going to show you how we did this chain stitching here
And
for
we
our
actually
quilting.
did flat lock, not
Yes.
ladder. They
Yes.
look similar, but with this weighted thread, we used the flat lock stitch.
Correct.
And then look at that beautiful chain stitch.
Put
Pulls
that
all those
variegated
colors
thread.
together.
Flip it around to the back side so you can see what that's going to look like.
Lovely. And then you can see the back of it. Instead of using binding, we are doing the 3-thread wide overlock stitch.
Yep.
And we're using the decorative thread on the top.
We'll show you how we did that too.
Pulls all those colors in.
Yeah.
Lovely. So we decided to quilt this using the chain stitch. And we're going to do the left needle.
Yep.
Why is that?
I don't know, that's the one I picked. It seemed like it would give me just like half an inch more throat space, which...
Okay, that's fair. Just so that you had a little more room to see where you were going with it.
Yeah.
All right. Because if you look at that top corner picture there, it's going to sew on one side just your straight line. And on the other side, it's going to sew
Like little loopties.
little loopties. And so which one do we have going up?
I have the straight line on the top
Okay.
because I wanted to see where I was sewing.
It is harder to go down lines if you're upside down.
It is.
And if you want the chain to show, you do have to sew it
Upside down.
right.
Which I don't know if anybody remembers that pillow that we showed.
Oh yes.
Oh gosh, probably almost 8 months ago now.
Yeah.
That we did the chain stitching and the cover stitching on that, but we did it from the back side so
Right.
that those showed on top.
Right.
Yep.
So that makes sense. So let's look at this one. And right
Yeah.
here, it's showing that we have the left needle in overlock. Oh, I'm sorry, chain stitch 1. And then we have the length set between 2 and 4. And then width stitch and wave selector, all that stuff doesn't matter
Yep.
because we're doing a chain needle. And which one is the chain needle tension dial?
It's over on the left side.
On the left side, and that's going to set between 4 and 6.
Yep.
And then the chain looper tension, which is on the right side of the machine, is going to be set between.
For this needle, between 3 and 5.
Okay. And then so what 2 thread positions are we using?
We're using the chain looper and chain needle 1.
So it's actually going where it says, and it's going into the slots that it was designed to go in.
Yep.
All right, so let's thread this thing.
Perfect. Now I did notice whenever we were doing our stitching that I had to, you could be between 4 and 6 on that chain needle tension, and I had to be closer to the 4 since we have a heavier thread in here. Again, we're using the 12 weight from Wonderful. This time we're using Accent, so it's a little
That's
shinier.
pretty. It is shiny, and look at all those pretty colors.
Yeah.
Love it. It's variegated thread is a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna open her up over here, and I don't need my knife cover because I need my little cover stitch table.
Okay, so let me show how that goes in. You take
Yeah.
the little tabs there, and you slide them into the slots.
Trying to do this in a way that you guys can see it.
And it just snaps in place.
Yep.
Okay, excellent.
So I've got to lock my little tubes in.
All right, so the
you
tubes,
go.
shouldn't you point out the tubes there?
Right down here.
Yep, so they're
So-
locked in place.
Out. In.
Got it.
Go to our chain looper over here. Plop that right on there.
And we decided to use white because that's, the back of the quilt is white.
Yep.
And so let me get over here where we can see this a little better. So you
Yeah.
go through that hole, and this is on a Triumph. It might be different on an Ovation or on an Accolade.
Behind the little metal hook right here. and then up and around.
Mm-hmm.
And just make
And
sure
it
it's really
goes
seated in
underneath
there.
that little hook.
Make sure your presser foot's up always when threading.
Okay.
Pull it so we've got enough thread.
And then we're going to go into
Our chain looper.
that's the one that says C.
Yeah. And
Okay,
then,
and then before you do that, can you move the things off of that table right there?
yeah.
Here, I'm gonna do-si-do around you. Ready?
Okay.
Woo, here we go. We're gonna open up our serger station, and you're gonna open up your,
Little door.
because we want you to see what happens
Right here.
with that thread. There's a little box right there.
There
And
it
see,
is.
there's the thread. It just blows it over into there. So you'll never actually see that.
From the top when it's closed.
Right. Okay, you can go ahead and put
Perfect.
that back down. Excellent. Hope you all
look
are
at that
getting
soft
seasick
close.
as I walk around. Okay, so what's the next threading step we have here?
We have to do our needle now.
So we're gonna go
which-
over here into,
I'm gonna have to change my needle first because it's
Oh.
still in our overlock.
and you know one of the cool things on these machines? Do you see that little silver plate that's in front of where the screws are? Can you point that out?
Here?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to tighten the screws
Nope.
back down. They can't fall out. That's a really great thing because those little screws,
Oh, they're tiny.
they are tiny, and you don't have to worry about it. They cannot fall out.
I like that they have the little window right here so you can make sure you know your needle's all the way up.
Can we get in there and see that real good? Can you move the needle for me?
So down and up.
There you go. Okay. Tighten it down, and you don't have to crank it down like
Nope.
it's never coming out.
Nope.
All right, so
I would probably break my little wrench
Yeah,
first.
let's not do that.
And then there's notches on the front of the foot. So we can see this notch right here lines up with where that needle's
I
gonna
bet
go.
that's why you picked that one because it was easy. Just use the outside notch.
I don't have to find one of the inside ones, it's just
so
that one on the
makes
outside.
sense. And then you're going to take your thread up through the thread mast.
Yep. And then over here, gonna lay it in our
Oh,
groove.
this is real important to show too. I'm going to go around you again.
Okay.
The trick I have about this, and I even showed it to Ashley the other
Yep.
day, is because you get confused about which direction your thread. Put the leading end of the thread closest to you, and then you put it into the groove, and then
From the back, in and under.
can you take it out and do it again? Because
Yeah.
your hand was right in my way. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. So in and under.
And that way it's easy to thread it into it. There's no guessing if you got it in right. I've done it before when I wasn't trying to take the leading edge, and it's like I put it on backwards. It was weird.
Yeah. And then from here, it's just kind of like a sewing machine, you know, down and up and around.
And then there's a thread guide that you have to go through right there.
Yep. So
And then
in front of this one, underneath
I'm
that
gonna
one.
guess that being that this is a heavier weight thread, it's also not going to use the air threading.
That is correct.
So we're going to use our nifty needle threader.
Mm-hmm. And push that right through. There we go.
And just pull the loop the rest of the way through.
Yep.
What a nifty tool.
I love that.
Yep. Okay, so really that's all you have to do to thread this machine, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't change my settings.
Uh-oh, what setting did we not change?
I have to put my upper looper down, switch it back to serger, and then it won't actually stay down until
you know
you
something
rotate
else
it
we
down.
didn't change?
What's that? Subsidiary looper?
Yep, because we don't really need it on that.
Doop, flip that down.
Yep.
We talked about changing all those things and we didn't actually change
Yep.
any of them. So we need our length between 2 and 4, and it's on a 3, so it is. Our chain needle tension I have closer to the 4 that we talked about. The chain looper tension between 3 and 5, and it's on a 4. Upper looper down, blade is still locked from what we were doing earlier, and we changed to our sewing table. So there we go, now we're good.
Excellent. All right,
Close our little
I'm gonna
doors.
come back around you this way, and then you wanna go ahead and just take that one piece of fabric we were using there, and we're gonna show you how this lovely chain stitching works.
And what if I just go straight down the
Why don't
middle?
you actually go down the blue, I think it'll show better.
Down the blue? Okay. Like this way?
Mhm.
And you gotta start with your needle in the fabric.
Yes, that's important on a chain stitch. Start on the fabric.
A
Again,
little
crazy
tail of thread
quiet.
out of here. Get my little tail out of the way so you guys can see what's going on. There we go.
And when we did it on the quilt, we're doing it where it's actually quilting the quilt together.
Yes.
So we have the whole quilt sandwich.
So it's the front, the top, the batting, and the backing all through here. You just have to roll it up,
Okay,
just
so
like
you want to
normal.
lay that down on the table there for me?
So you can see it kind of rainbow on top,
Yeah.
just a straight stitch. And then I stitched over my tail, but get that out of the way. And you have little rainbow loop-de-loops with our white thread on the back.
Okay, But you would have a very difficult time being able to do this one upside down and stay in a straight line on a
Yes.
strip that you can't see. So flip it back over for us.
Yep.
So the two things that we're showing you here are the flat lock stitching, which is done in the yellow, has such a unique look to it. I mean, why wouldn't you want to use decorative thread for that?
I know,
and that
that's
one
so
is
fun.
variegated.
It's just a very subtle variegation on this
where
one.
did that thread go?
Oh, it's right here.
You want to hold the. Oh yeah, it's a subtle variegation. So, but it does make a difference.
Yeah.
And then we use that beautiful. Here, I'll show this right here. Isn't that beautiful?
That was so
wonderful
fun.
thread? Yep, we were over there looking for threads, and that one just screamed at us because it
Yep.
had all the right colors in it.
Yeah.
Ashley, it looks great. So, what's the next thing we're going to do?
Well, we need to bind our quilt. Okay, so we're going to bind our quilt in a sense with the 3-thread overlock wide.
Okay.
And you can see it's all normal thread paths here, so pretty straightforward. We have, let's see, no subsidiary looper, knife cover, blade is up, upper looper is up.
Of course, we want it to look a little more filled in. So, what is our solution for that? The length says 2 to 4.
Well, we've gone a little shorter.
Okay. So let's look at the sample that we stitched out.
So here we had a little bit longer
That
stitch
was on
length,
2.
and then here we shrunk it down.
Okay, and that went down to like 0.75, which is a little
Yeah.
notch right there for 0.7, because I think that looks just more finished.
Yeah, it looks kind of more like a satin stitch than just an overlock.
Yep. All right.
So that's kind of fun.
So let's put that on the quilt.
Perfect.
So we are 100% making this quilt
On
the
the serge.
serger.
Yep.
So all those people that think, I don't need a serger, I'm a quilter.
Yes, you do.
Because look what you can do. Ashley, it looks beautiful. So you did all your strips with the flat lock stitch.
And then our chain stitching that
And
you
then
can
how
see.
did you decide to cut it all out?
Well, this is just that strip pack.
Okay.
And then I 5 strips sewn together.
Yep.
And I picked a square ruler that fit right there based on how many.
You cheated.
I cheated. So, if you're
And then
doing
you
more
just made them
strips.
so that they have the square to the middle. We'll show the whole quilt here in a minute. So right
Yeah.
now, let's show how we're going to finish the edge of this quilt
Get my
with
fabric
not
up
having to
here.
do binding. And this is a quilt sandwich. It just has the muslin on the back, and we have the batting in the middle.
Tuck that right in there. And I'm kind of using my blade more as a guide. So we've already trimmed it down to the size we
So
need
we
it to
don't
be.
really need to trim.
Don't really need to trim, but it's still good to have on for those little fuzzies that might stick out. And keep in mind, it's going to be real slow because we got that short stitch on there.
That's true.
So don't be like, it's not moving.
And we don't need to be in a big hurry.
Nope.
We want it to look finished.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll let you keep going so I can move the camera around in a minute. We can see the back side of it.
Yeah.
You can kind of see behind the needle when it's stitching. Let me show the back side. Keep going a little bit so I can get a little bit more out of there. Look at that! I love it.
I think it's going to be so fun.
Okay, we're pulling a thread now for something.
It's just wrapped around the needle. There we go.
Oh, okay, so everything's
one of our
good?
tails.
It's one of our thread tails? All right. And look at those colors. They look so yummy with that.
They do.
And look how that sets that off on that quilt. What a great way to do a binding. Ashley, can you hold it out just a little bit?
The quilt?
Yeah.
This way?
Yep. And how many strip packs was this?
Just one.
Just one.
And that's not even all of it because you saw all the pieces
Yeah,
that we
that's
had
true.
sitting
We
over
had
there.
we had more pieces, and we're going to make something else with it. That's amazing. So this is what you can do with one pack of strips, and
All the ladder stitching was done with less than a spool of thread. I have this much thread left on that spool.
okay, and then we'll probably use up the rest of that spool that you
Yeah.
did the chain stitching
So
on
what,
our.
2 spools of decorative thread and a strip pack and a little bit of scrap fabric for your back?
Let me see. Hold up so we can see the back a little bit. And it's just enough to hold it all together.
Yeah.
It's not overly quilted. And on the front, it's busy enough that you don't need a whole lot of quilting.
No.
I love it. It's absolutely beautiful.
I think it'll be a lot of fun when it's done.
So what kind of specials do we have going on this week? We can come back to that in just a minute.
Yeah. Well, it's Serger Month.
It is. April is Serger Month.
So, what about if we buy a serger this month, we get a serger kit for free.
I love that.
Let's see what's
what
in
kind of
it.
value is that?
I don't have a sticker, but I think it was $102.
Okay.
109 in there somewhere.
What's in the box?
100 and change. They've got little pictures on here, but the pictures don't do it justice.
No, that's true. Oh, look at that. You've got decorative threads in there.
Yeah.
And you've got serger thread.
So we've got our little book over here. Got 4 big cones of thread. This is some of the Arrow flock from Madeira. So this is their fluffy thread.
For like loopers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can see
so if you
that
want it to be a
kinda
more filled in, solid look,
fluff out there.
that is pretty. And we've
Very
got
soft.
some needles I see.
Mm-hmm. Arrow flock. Oh, look, there's something in this cone of thread. Tweezers with a light on it.
How cool
How
is
handy.
that?
Is there
All
anything in
right.
the others? It's like an Easter egg hunt.
And look at
Decorative
those.
thread. Oh, that's fun.
Those are
These
pretty.
they look like a 12 weight.
That's the Decora, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep, those are beautiful.
So that's the same weight thread that we were using for this.
And then you also have,
Needles, a ruler,
that's a
tiny
tape measure.
scissors. Yeah, tape measure, sorry. Tiny scissors.
And a needle
that's
threader.
needle threader and a seam ripper.
Okay. And so if you buy a serger,
Mm-hmm.
that's free?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. And what else have we got here? You want to stand those up for me? The light's
Yeah.
kind of shining funny on them.
So we've got different feet kits. These fit different types of sergers, but they have essentially the same feet in them. Let's see, different 6 feet in
So
each.
the pink ones fit the overlock machines,
Mm-hmm.
and the green ones, you got them upside down for me now.
They fit the combo machines, right?
Yep, the combination
Yeah.
machine that has chain cover and serger.
Yeah, so they have beading foot, blind hem foot, cording, 2 different sizes of cording foot, an elastic foot, and a ruffling foot.
That's a great little pack.
Yeah.
And then what's this other thing that you have laying here?
A fabric guide.
Here, hold that up over here for me.
Everybody needs a seam guide, right?
Absolutely. Ooh, we got some light shining on us. Here,
Ooh,
you want to lay it down over here on the quilt?
Here we go.
There we go. That's so much better. And so this is a serger accessory that's going to go on the machines that, since it's got the green, it's going to go with the combination.
Mm-hmm.
And it screws on to the front with the
Cover
plate.
stitch table.
Oh, it's right behind you, dear.
Oh. Here we go. It's got these little screw holes.
And so that's going to go on there, and when you put it on there, it makes it so that you have a place to bump your fabric up to the edge.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting it out of the plastic
So you got
container there.
little screws.
And so where you see that kind of oval shape in there, that's going to screw on there, and then there's a little latch that you
I
lift
imagine
up.
it looks like it fits on that
But
back
it
one
goes-
there.
yep, it fits on the back one, and then if you'll kind of raise that latch up, and then
Oh.
you can slide it so that
Looky
you know
there.
the width of your fabric and what it needs to be. This could be really helpful for a lot of different reasons when you're doing the quilting because,
Yeah.
yeah, hello, how useful is that?
And they've got your 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and 5/8 inch markings on there really clearly, so you don't have to count over. How nice.
Yeah, so a fabric guide is a wonderful tool to have for your serger.
Nice.
So what kind of special are we going to have on these feet and the fabric guides?
ooh, I don't know. What are we allowed to do?
Well, I tell you what, here's the thing. If you come in and get one of the serger foot sets, and it could be the 2 that we see here. We also have them in the bigger bags. We have all sorts of options of foot sets. We're going to have those at 10% off.
Ooh.
And then if you would like to get a fabric guide, you can get that for 25% off
Nice.
if you buy the foot
If you
kit.
buy the foot kit, nice.
And if you buy a machine, what do you get?
Then the box for free and your discounts on anything else you get.
And I can tell you that being that it's National Serger Month, we have some great specials on sergers. So if you're ever thinking about maybe this is the right time to get you a serger, I can promise you
Now's the time.
it's the right time. Serger Month is a wonderful month to do it. And for all my quilters out there that think that they don't need a serger,
You do.
you do, you do. It's just beautiful.
We have to finish it.
Okay. Let's get it finished up and then show you how it looks at the end.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, look how cute that came out.
Isn't it wonderful?
I love
It
that.
reminds me of fruit stripe gum. Are you old enough to remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
With like the little zebras on the package.
That's the one.
There we
The
go.
flavor lasted for all of about 30 seconds.
Uh-huh.
That's the one. This turned out so beautiful. 100% you did this on the serger. So are
Yeah.
you sold now? Sergers are a great quilting tool.
I might need one.
Thinking so. So we have a couple of things going on. One is the Threaducation class that is coming up. It is only $10, and as you can see, it's on April 25th at all locations at 10 a.m.
Nice.
It is a lecture style class
Mm-hmm.
that will be beamed into us from, I don't know where it's coming from, but it's going to have all
Outer
sorts
space,
of great
maybe.
information to talk about these. Now, we've used some of the wonderful threads
Yeah.
over here, but it's going to talk about all the different kinds of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sergers are an excellent way to use all these decorative threads. So give your local store a call so that you can get signed up. There is a free gift for everybody that signs up,
Ooh.
and so you don't want to miss out on that.
So it's only $10,
April
and you get a
25th.
free gift. It's practically free.
Yep,
I love it.
everyone should come.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else have we got?
Well, we haven't done something in a while.
Ooh, what's that?
Well, remember, we like to do something. We like to
Like, share,
and
comment.
on Facebook so that you can let the world know what kind of fun things we have
Mm-hmm.
going on. It was so fun when I was at the Quilt Festival, Ashley. People came up to me and they go like, "Hi, Jan." I'm like, "How do you know who I am?" But they do because they watch our videos and they tell me how much fun they have watching them. So
Good.
thank you for watching. Make sure that you do the like, share, and comment so that we get more and more people watching this.
Absolutely.
And they get to enjoy. And we will have one lucky winner that we are going to give away a free pack of Maxi Lock thread.
Ooh.
Doesn't necessarily have to be red, but it is going to be one of the 4 packs.
I love that.
So that's a great value.
Uh-huh.
And one lucky winner is going to win that. So be sure to do that. We will do that drawing Thursday at 5 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we post that on Facebook so you'll know who the winner is. And I bet you want to be the lucky winner.
Oh, yes.
Not you, Ashley. You don't get to be the lucky
Aw.
winner. But one of you out there does.
Yeah, how long do our specials last?
Our specials are going to last through,
The end of the week?
actually, you know what? It's National Serger Month.
Ooh.
Why don't we have this go on through the end of April?
I love that.
I bet Mary will be okay with that.
If not, we'll ask forgiveness.
We're good at that too. So we're going to continue this special on through the end of the month.
Yes.
And of course, the prize though is you got to say something before Thursday. Thank you all for joining us. It was been so much fun getting back here with you. Join us next week for New It Too, where we'll have something else fun to show you.
See you guys then.
Bye.